So the president seems to be too comfortable with Putin, who definitely cheats in his elections, telling him how to rig elections. I'm sorry, how to fix the elections. Welcome to the think tank. We use critical thinking, deductive reasoning, and just a pinch of common sense to draw unbiased, logical conclusions. I'm your host, Leonard Sanderson, here with the Honorable Dion Powell, who's going to introduce himself to you now. And Dion?
Hi, family. This is the 78th Assembly District Leader, Dion Jordan Powell, in the Bronx, New York. I am with the Conservative Party, not the Republican Party, because people think I'm a Republican because I'm not a Democrat. Well, that's my political affiliation. So here I'm a consultant in the various realms of civics and politics, and also a community leader and organizer here in New York City. I'm going to give you the MAGA side of the family because a lot's going on, and the president's getting a lot of support in the inner cities for cleaning it up with the military.
Wow.
We're going to talk about that today.
That is a statement and a half. He's getting a lot of support from a lot of people. He's getting as much pushback as he's getting support as the protests grow across America and the land at large. I myself am not a supporter, nor am I a Democrat, nor am I conservative. I think that it should be called down the middle. And what I see is an authoritarian dictator. What is that? What is authoritarian? Right quick. Because
Exactly. The public doesn't care because you guys are throwing on all these big oligarchs and vocabulary words that mean nothing to the common man, if you will. So you lose people. As soon as you start talking about authoritarian dictatorships, Nazis, all these totalitarianisms, people just don't care. It doesn't work, doesn't scare us. We still support the president and more so than the blue team and its big vocabulary book.
so I agree that it might be true that some people don't care about words or what they mean. I, as a writer, care about these things. So here we go. The main difference is that between authoritarian and dictator, the main difference is that the authoritarian describes a system where the government holds concentrated power and suppresses opposition. Something like, taking away people's rights to vote and, I don't know, throwing troops into your state where you're going to vote against them. While dictatorial is an autocratic form of government where one leader or a small group has absolute or near absolute power. Where, let's suppose you were going against the president and you were in Congress and you wanted to vote against him, and then he had a meeting, and all of a sudden you're voting with him because you're not going to go against them. That's like near absolute power. Essentially, all dictatorships are authoritarian, but not all authoritarian governments are necessarily ruled by a single absolute dictator. So, yeah, I know people don't care about words, but I believe that if you're a critical thinker and you're here, then you want to know what these things are. You want to know what these things mean. So we talk about the words that the people on the right feel you're too stupid to understand or care about. Because you don't want to know what these words mean, because what are words, right? They just... So from an intellectual perspective, if you don't have a word for something, you can't understand it. I'll give you an example from one of my favorite teachers, a hip hop dude right there from the Bronx, New York, where Dion is. It's one of the lessons he likes to give. He was once a rapper. He happens to be a doctor in metaphysics or something like that. But he was once a rapper by the name of KRS-One. They call him the teacher when he's giving his lectures at universities or in hip hop also. Anyway, in his lesson, three people walk in the room. One's a painter, one's an electrician, one's a plumber. They look around look around the room, and the words that they have is how they understand the world around them. The electrician looks and he sees watts and ohms, and he sees words that electricians see. He sees how the wires are running through the wall. While a plumber in that room is looking, he's seeing where the water faucets are and how large the pipes are and where the returns are and what kind of, things that a plumber sees. While the painter's looking and he's seeing that the wall sky blue and it's flat paint and that the colors have to match on a color wheel. Like he's seeing the things that a painter sees. You understand the world and the words that you see. If I walk into a room, I'm looking and I'm like, yo, that dude, if I stay about this far distance from him, then I'm gonna be perceived this way because when you're too close to somebody, they might feel uncomfortable because it's too intimate. But if you're too far away, you might not. So I'm looking at distance. I'm watching body language. I'm watching how many times somebody bats their eyes between speaking from a psychological background. You understand the world with the words that you see. So you might want to understand the words if you want to be a critical thinker. So I talk about the words. The word I want to talk about today is Rule 6E. What the heck? What is Rule 6E? And why are we talking about it with Epstein?